Using animations in PowerPoint, having slide elements do things like arriving, leaving, or moving around, is actually pretty easy and can even be fun. But there are two things to remember. Applying them has to be done step by step, and we shouldn't overdo it in a business presentation. In the sample slide here, we have some abstract objects to work with. We're deliberately keeping the graphics away from any particular field of business to focus on the technique. Now, the usual idea is to use animations to help get a point across or to emphasize whatever the slide is showing. So if we're going to talk about putting together a generic desktop computer, we can use animations to emphasize each component as we mention it. There are three main kinds of animation in PowerPoint: entrance, emphasis, and exit. And we'll do at least one of each. We can have the computer tower over here enter with, say, a zoom in. We first have to click the object, make sure it's paying attention, go to the Animations tab in the ribbon, and select the item to apply. I want to click the drop down here, and in the list of entrances, we can find Zoom and give it a click. We could then click on the assembled computer and tell it we want to have an emphasis on that one rather than an entrance. So we click the drop down once more, and in the list of emphasis items we can find, say, grow shrink, and that makes the item in question get larger or smaller if we had chosen. And if we want to have the keyboard do something a little lighthearted, we can give it a click and jump into the drop down list and find, say, a bounce for the entrance. And indeed that's exactly what it does. While we're doing all this, the items and sequence of the animations are getting numbered. If you look closely, you can see the numbers next to each of the objects, and this tells us in what order things will happen. Not everybody knows that the sequence can be changed. To do that, we can slide up to the Animations tab again, and this time go over here and click on Animation Pane. The window pane opens up, and we can see the numbers match with the items that have so far been animated. If we wanted to have, say, the grow shrink on the completed computer start off the operation sequence, we can drag it up. And now if we click the blank spot and play from, we see that happens first, then the tower, and then the keyboard bouncing in. If we want the mouse to move in a slightly less random way, we can give it a click, and we can even click the drop down in the list of animations, scroll to the bottom, and find motion paths. We can use a simple shape like an ellipse or circle. The mouse does its move, and again we see that a number has been added to the sequence on the slide as well as in the animation pane. Now, if we want to add another animation to the same object, we have to start by clicking the object. Let's say we wanted the keyboard to bounce out and then back in. Well, we can click the keyboard, go up to the Animations tab yet again, and this time click the button for Add Animation, that is, to the same object. And scroll down. We would find, to keep it consistent, let's say the bounce out, and the keyboard does exactly that. But we want the bounce out to happen ahead of the bounce in. We note that the numbers for the animation effects are 3 and 5, so this red bar representing the exit will need to be dragged upward ahead of the green bar that represents the bounce in. And now, if we click a blank spot again and play all, we can see the grow shrink, then the tower, then the keyboard, and finally the mouse movement. If we want the mouse to move a little bit flatter, so to speak, we can click on the ellipse effect there and grab one of the sizing handles and literally squish the thing a bit, and then we can leave the item in question selected here, the animation, and play from to watch just that one effect. We could even use the timing group to change the duration of the mouse move. Leaving it selected over here in the Animation Pane, we go up to the timing group and bring the duration down, say from 2 seconds to just 1, and then play from once again to see that the mouse now moves a little faster. All of this does, however, go back to one point from the start, and that is we need to add the animations, open the animation pane, select the particular one, and then make changes, if any, in that order. The step-by-step thing is the recipe to follow. You can also see how this could be entertaining, but like adding seasoning to a meal, it's important not to add too much. A little can go a long way.